Well, all right, guys, I'm here at a little bike shop called Biloxi Bicycle Works in downtown Biloxi, and it's Saturday afternoon, almost 6 o'clock p.m., and we're closing up for the day. So I was just making sure everything was tight outside, and I'm gonna put up my little plastic chain and walk inside and try to recap the week for you guys. So I didn't get a whole lot of video this week. I did have the video camera here. It's just things were kind of on fire, and sometimes it's hard to, you know, bust out the video camera in the middle of conversations. But I heard so many good things about the bike shop. This little bike shop and bicycles in general this weekend, or this week, just there's a lot of people. The weather has turned. Shoot, I think today we're in the 80s here. So it's not hot when the humidity's come back. But you know, around here we kind of like the humidity. And I am a block off the beach. So just there's a lot of adults on vacation right now. So it's April 26th. School hasn't got out. Well, I guess there might be some schools out for Easter break, but officially it's not summer vacation yet. So we do get a lot of tourists that come down to Biloxi. We're starting to get more and more every year. People are starting to find out about this little secret down here. It's awesome. We had some guys in from upstate New York. Oh, and I did get some of them on video today. So they were talking about how they are traveling over the next few months. They bring their bicycles and they ride around, and they were so surprised at what the Mississippi Gulf Coast has to offer for cycling. They, you know, they're used to some nicer infrastructure as far as, you know, bicycle paths and bicycle infrastructure that cities have put in all across the country, all across the world, really. And Biloxi, Mississippi is a bit behind in that. And even when we do it, we kind of do it in our own way. We don't really follow the standards. You know, I'm just happy that we are on the radar for bicycle infrastructure here. I personally do a lot of work with the city of Biloxi, with the engineers, and trying to get bicycle infrastructure put in. But that, believe me, it does take my time, and the ROI is not great immediately. I mean, I see it in the future. Down the road, after you get bicycle paths put in, it's a lot easier for me to promote bicycling. And then, of course, as I'm promoting bicycling, it benefits my shop. But the shop needs revenue today, not 5 years from now. And it does seem like, you know, some of the things I've been talking about for years still taking time to get done. And I guess that's just the way it works. But I have been successful, at least getting the word out that bicycle tourism is a real thing right here, and it could actually be super amazing and profitable for Biloxi and the Mississippi Gulf Coast if they just put a little bit of infrastructure in. But you know, that's just the way of the world. I do rent these little towny cruisers out, so they're Trek. They're a Trek product. They're a Electra Towny Cruiser, single speed, easy to ride with a nice little basket. And these little bikes bring people so much enjoyment. Visitors of the Gulf Coast that are visiting the casinos or visiting family, they get on these little bikes and they get to see parts of Biloxi that they wouldn't see, especially if they take a tour with us or come ride with some of the locals. So it's amazing the smiles and the excitement that people have when they come back after renting these little bikes. So it's low-hanging fruit, and for me I love showcasing Biloxi and the potential of what the Mississippi Gulf Coast has. And I say potential because the bicycle infrastructure isn't there, but what we do have is a lot of friendly citizens, a lot of low volume traffic roads, a lot of interesting things to see along the way. And now that we're doing more in Biloxi, you know, the restaurants and hotels and casinos are starting to see the benefit of the people that are coming in. So right there's a Biloxi proclamation from the mayor of how he wants to help promote cycling and healthy activities here in the city of Biloxi. So, and Biloxi Bicycle Works is right in the middle of all that, and I love it. But it does, you know, I miss a lot of meetings. I'm part of the Harrison County Active Initiative living, forum, and I'm a board member of that. I'm a board member of the Biloxi Greater Economic Development Council, a board member of the Biloxi Main Street Association. And over the years, they have realized how important it is to have cycling and walking paths in a downtown area to get people from one place to the other efficiently without cars. And when they do it, they see the local cafes and the local coffee shops and local breweries and things to do. So when you move people, you move money, and the tourists that are coming down here realize that Biloxi and lodging and food and everything is fairly inexpensive compared to a lot of the other parts of the country. And even if we don't have perfect built bicycle paths, we have citizens that give you room in their cars. We have some bicycle paths. And of course, if you follow my routes, Biloxi's amazing for riding, but if you don't know the right routes, you get into the wrong streets. And when I say downtown Biloxi, it's hard to pick a wrong street or get in a neighborhood where you're gonna get robbed or something like that. We've got a very safe city, and we do work with the city of Biloxi. So that's the backside. We support the Biloxi PD, but they keep our streets safe and they ride bikes with us. We actually had Vincent, thank you. We had a Biloxi police officer come in today and buy himself a Trek Dual Sport. While he was in here, I was talking about another friend and customer of mine, Ray. And Ray's actually a former Biloxi police officer, and he just happened to walk in when Vincent was buying his bike. So it's really nice to work with the city of Biloxi. I was talking to Joe Lococo, and he's a retired lawyer, did a lot for the city of Biloxi, and he was talking about this guy that everybody called Bicycle Bill. I didn't know Bicycle Bill, but he was quite a force to be reckoned with in the cycling community. But he didn't always get along with the city, and seemed like, I don't know if he was editor for the paper or something like that. I forget what the whole story was with Bicycle Bill, but it seemed like he was always fighting with the city. We get along with our city. I mean, I go at least once a week, and I even posted something on my social media, my personal Bart Luther social media page this week, where I was sitting with the mayor of Biloxi and a gentleman named Bones Barks, who's his family was the founder of Barks Root Beer, which is started right here in Biloxi, Mississippi, and it's kind of a big deal around here. So if you've ever had Barks Root Beer, it comes from Biloxi. And these guys are very influential gentlemen here in the city that hears me talking about bikes, and they realize what we're trying to do here in Biloxi. But a lot of that's long-term play, and like I said, I need revenue right now. I'm actually looking for a business partner right now, and a lot of people say, Bart, you're selling the bike shop. Well, there's options, I'd love for someone to come in with a bit of a cash injection and make themselves an awesome niche in Biloxi and help me own this amazing bicycle shop. Let me get outside these walls and do some business development and bring if you had me outside these walls, and not that I don't mind working in the bicycle shop, I do like it. This is the end of a Saturday and I'm still in here talking about it. I like it so much. But if you can get me out in the community with my connections, we've got Amtrak getting ready to come in, and we should be having all the rental bikes for Biloxi. We should be working with all the casinos, and believe me, I know most of the casino owners and management groups. We could have rental bikes, these rental bikes everywhere. The more rental bikes we have, more people rent them, the more little coffee shops and local cafes and boutiques and stuff get filled with business. When people come and rent these bikes, they always come back with a bag from a local boutique. They buy food from the local restaurants. They have their to-go boxes. I notice that people are smiling. They're happy. They're excited. They're like, Biloxi's amazing, and it is amazing. But you got to get out of your cars. You got to get off the main strip. I do promote the casinos. The casinos bring a lot of people in, but the casinos are open 24/7. You can come ride a bike for a few hours and really enjoy yourself and get some. Not only relaxation, but adventure with your relaxation, and do it in an easy way. And then, your food tastes so much better at the buffet. Your bed is so much more comfortable because you're tired. Your brain is happy because you got outside the casino. I mean, there's plenty of shows tonight. There's a lot of entertainment in Biloxi tonight for a city of 50,000 people. I think we got Brooks and Dunn tonight. Oh, we also have a Crawfish Music Festival with a lot of headliners. There's some big bands here tonight. There's a taco festival in Front Beach, less than 4 miles away from here. It's an easy bicycle ride. On the way, you can pass Paradise Pier and see this big optical wheel and get a beautiful... Tonight's sunset is going to be amazing. Probably one of the best sunsets in the world tonight. It's going to be right here in Biloxi Beach. So, anyway, I was going to kind of recap my week here in Biloxi Bicycle Works. Oh yeah, let me talk about the sale of the business real quick. I put it out there because I need help. If you've ever had a friend, that maybe needed some help with something and they didn't say something until it was too late, I don't want to be that. I'm trying to tell people, I have a current business partner. He lives abroad right now. His family situation has changed over the years, so he doesn't even live in the United States right now. He can't support the shop the way he'd like to. He's a great business partner. He's helped me build this. A lot of this was his vision, how to set this all up. He's a marketing genius, and he knows how to merchandise. He's made this bicycle shop so much prettier than if it would have just been me, So, but yeah, he's moving on some different things with his life. He's got a son in school, and his wife has got a great job, and they're moving. They're moving to another country. So yeah, it just doesn't make sense that he owns a bicycle shop in Buxy, Mississippi when he's living in another country. We realize that it's a mutual thing. It's not like one partner doesn't like the other partner or doesn't like the bike shop, or it's the way of the world right now. His life is changing, and I can't run this by myself financially or time-wise. So I'm looking for someone to step in, help me financially right now, because I've made some wrong decisions as far as keeping my overhead a little bit higher than what the current economic situation is, or the current state of the bicycle industry is. And I'm glad to talk about all that too. But we have a chance here in Biloxi Bicycle Works. We actually, not more than a chance, we're doing something special. We're not a bike shop in a strip mall. This is a very special place with amazing energy and groups of people that come in here every day. But as an owner that's helped make decisions over the years, I should have looked to see what was going on with the economy and the bicycle industry and tried to scale back beforehand. So right now I have more overhead than I need. I also have an amazing crew of people. So the bike shop needs to change in some ways, and I'm looking for a business partner to help me with that. Before I'm on my own and I'm underfunded and overwhelmed with too much work for one person to handle. So I want a life myself right now. I spend a lot of time in the bike shop, but my life right now dictates that I can do that. And I enjoy it. I love working on bikes all day and working with customers and then go riding with my community. Like you guys see it on video. It's not made up. This is awesome. But I also want a life beyond the bike shop, and right now I put a lot of hours into this place, and most small business owners do, but most of the time that's just a job. Like this is a job. Someone were to in my head I'm thinking, someone lives in a big city, let's say Delaware, they've been working for the federal government and now they don't have a job, and they were going to plan on working in another 10 years before they retire and then open up a bike shop, living in this hustle bustle rat race. You can come down here to Biloxi. For what a nice BMW costs, you can buy into Biloxi Bicycle Works and have an instant amazing lifestyle full of baked in good people with happy energy in a city that is conducive for arts and entertainment, activities, healthy activities, buffets, like maybe that aren't so healthy, but the Gulf Coast is known for its saltwater fishing. We're block off the beach. Real estate's fairly inexpensive. Like, this is an amazing opportunity for someone to just walk into a turnkey bike shop at a very little risk financially, in the big scope of things. This bike shop can make money right now, because of overhead and whatnot, some changes that need to be made. It's not really making much money, but it sure could be easy. So with a reset, this could be a great opportunity for somebody. If you've got a kid that's not really liking what he's doing in college and he can't figure out what his life is, but he likes bicycles, buy him a bike shop. I'll teach and run it. I'll help him make this thing a success. And like I said, if you can get me out the doors, there's things I could do. I'm working on maybe throwing a gravel race in Belize, Central America. I can make this little bicycle shop known worldwide. There's so much about bicycle tourism here. I look at all these tour companies all over the world and what they charge. We could bring people from all over the world here, show them gravel riding, adventure riding, mixed surface riding, mountain bike riding, beach cruising, urban riding, lighted riding. I mean, it's unlimited what we have out here, to the potential that this could be the bicycle destination with very little infrastructure from the city, and we can pay them back with amazing tourists that come in here on a regular basis. So I don't know, I've got so many ideas that can actually happen. Assembled in America, like, you know, you saw me this week with a couple made in America bikes, but they're very expensive. We could do assembled in America, and right here in Biloxi we have a deep water port. They bring in Chiquita bananas, and I know the powers to be. If we were to bring in bicycle components and bicycle frames from some of the major manufacturers, Trek, Cannondale, Specialized, like right now it's hard to do in California, bringing it into the Port of Long Beach, because workers can't afford to live there, and if they did, the living conditions are not very conducive, you know. So and everything is so automated. So look at this. Well, this is my tool bench after a big heavy week, but it'd be awesome to set up a warehouse where people can actually use their hands to build a bicycle, to assemble a bicycle. It'll be set up to something that have to be trained, but we have a community college that can train people, and you can actually work with your hands. Like if you're assembling cars for Nissan or Toyota here in America, you're doing this, and you pass it down the assembly line, and you pass it down the assembly line. Like, it's a good job that pays good with good benefits. You can definitely take care of your family with it, but it's a factory. I'm talking about people assembling, Americans assembling bikes with their hands with tools. Now that turns on the younger generation. There's a lot of younger generation that aren't gonna go to college, and they don't wanna be computer programmers or advertising agents. You know, they wanna work with their hands. It can be possible right here in Mississippi. I know our Commissioner of Commerce. I know the Commissioner of the Ports. I know some businessmen that would invest in it, and I know our city would help us with tax abatement and warehouse space. I know the community college would help, you know, train, but this could be a whole industry right here in coastal Mississippi. Like, there's so many ideas that are just right in my hand to make this more. Obviously it already is more than a bike shop. This is part of a community, you know, but it's a bike shop that can make the difference in the whole bouquet and economy of the Mississippi Gulf Coast. I mean, we love Biloxi. Look at this. This is the old lighthouse with a schooner. Biloxi used to be the seafood capital of the world. Because of water quality. We might be opening up the Bonnet Carey Spillway right now because the Mississippi River is flooded again. As soon as that freshwater intrusion happens, our water quality goes down on the Gulf Coast. Well, guess what? It's still an awesome place to ride bicycles. So you get one tourism spectrum, the water quality, people can't go to the beach and the seafood dies, you know, and that's a shame. But that could happen. But if this was an influx of bicycle tourism, people would still come to the Mississippi Gulf Coast to bicycle. So I don't know. I've got so many good ideas to make this amazing. So it'd be great to have a business partner. Hey, it'll be, you know, a couple options we have here too. You know, someone might just come and want to buy the shop and make me a manager, or make me a business developer, or I could do a smooth transition, you know, until someone wanted to just take over and do my job. They might want, you know, someone might just want to buy the shop and say, hey, Bart, you ran the shop into the ground. You got to get out of here. Well, guys, then I'll go get a job. Like, when I started Biloxi Bicycle Works, I didn't start the shop to sell it. I started the shop so I could have an awesome job even as I got old. But the way things are dictated, I have to take my chances with you know, whatever happens at the moment. But the big mission is to keep Biloxi Bicycle Works open, keep a little bicycle shop in downtown Biloxi. You know, that's the big mission right now. What happens to my future? You know, there's a lot of things I can do. You know, I'd like to stay here. I'd like to be a part of Biloxi Bicycle Works, but I've also got to keep the big picture in mind. If someone wanted to buy this and tell me to get out, you know, I'll go get a job. Hopefully I get a job in the bicycle industry. There's a lot of ideas I have there, but you know, I have an accounting degree. I could be an engineer. I could work for the city of Biloxi. So there's a lot of things I can do. I want to go to Europe for a little bit. You know, I've got an opportunity to go to Europe and see what's going on over in Europe. So the big mission is to keep Biloxi Bicycle Works alive. And I think that this is such a special bike shop that, you know, people aren't going to let this just go. You know, I've spent 5 years to develop an amazing crew of people to work with, and we all pitch in. We all like each other. Like, we can all go hang out after work, and we all know what we're doing. Like, I've put even my mechanics have gone through high-end sales training, you know, but a culture of sales training that we agree with, that my business partner and I do. We don't want to shove things down people's throats that they don't need. That's not our culture. We are experts at what we do in everything from beach cruisers to carbon fiber gravel bikes to kids bikes to full suspension mountain bikes to more beach cruisers to fat bikes to, you know, all different genres of mountain bikes and gravel bikes and road bike. Look, there's a Gen 8 Madone right there, you know, like hybrid bikes. My crew loves bicycles. I love bicycles. We don't just specialize in one thing, and there's not enough roofs per mile to specialize in just road bikes, you know. So some shops in a big city, in a big metropolitan area, you can maybe segregate, say, like a BMX shop and a road bike shop, and they don't mix. Well, I'm a bike slut. I love bikes. Yeah, I love doing it all. I love going out on the road bike in the morning. Well, that's actually my gravel bike. And then in the afternoon, go riding bikes with the community on BMX and do wheelies. There's a BMX ride I just saw out the window, the Bad Boy BMX clubs getting ready to do a ride. So I see a bunch of guys, a bunch of people unloading their bikes out the window there, because they're all going to go for a ride through Biloxi organically. Something that I didn't even have to set up, you know. So for a while I kept doing a lot of these rides and be as a leader and putting everything together. Now they're just happening by themselves. So there's a constant flow of awesome people on all types of different bikes riding. I don't know, it could be a great opportunity. I don't know which way it's going to go for me, for Biloxi Bicycle Works, but when people ask me, like, they're so surprised that the shop's up for sale, well, that could be spun many, many different ways. But this is a great opportunity for someone that wants an amazing bike shop, that doesn't just want a bike shop in a strip mall, that wants something with history and pizzazz and charisma, and a fledgling group of cyclists mixed with veteran cyclists of all sizes, shapes, denominations, colors, economic backgrounds. Like, this is a melting pot. You can move here, be part of Biloxi Bicycle Works, and just go, this is my absolute dream, because I'm not stuck with just one type of person. I'm not just stuck with one group of people. Like, you can sit in this door and meet people from all over the world. I did it today. I do it just about every day I'm in here. I meet amazing people that either grew up in Biloxi, moved away, moved back, from the airmen of Keesler that are coming from all across the country, to the visitors to the Gulf Coast that are coming to visit the casinos, to today, I mean, like I said, meeting people that are just traveling through on adventures. So every day there's amazing people. Now, there's also a lot of low income in Biloxi, Mississippi, and we welcome all. I love helping people that use bikes as a survival tool to help them fix their bikes, to help them survive and thrive. It's a very clean, awesome city that is very diverse, and we're right here in the middle of it with an awesome bicycle shop called Biloxi Bicycle Works. Hey, I was going to give you a rundown on how this week went, and we had a busy week, but it is springtime. It should be busy. Both repair, sales. I did a couple, brought in a couple bikes to consider doing some used bike stuff. A lot going on here at Biloxi Bicycle Works. So just know, if you hear Biloxi Bicycle, there's my friend Ron and his girlfriend right there on the brand new Fast Ripper, the new gold Fast Ripper, the only one in Mississippi that we were able to get for him. I just saw him ride by the window. And if I sit here at the window, look, I see there's a whole group of people. You'll see them out the window here, I hope, but you'll see them ride by here in just a second. Look at doing wheelies, having fun. I see men, I see women, I see a couple Keesler airmen. Just a lot of fun people out riding bikes. through the city of Biloxi for the pure fun of it. And then tomorrow I'm doing a gravel ride. I'm doing a 50-mile mixed surface ride on my gravel bike at a tempo pace. Today there was a big ride called Farm to Fork, which was over probably 1,000 riders. Now it was north of here about an hour, Hattiesburg, Mississippi, but that ride feeds people. You know, this is, I keep saying it's amazing, but sometimes pinch me. This is a dream. I'm living my dream, but I need a little help to make it continue. So Bart from Buxy Bicycle Works, Bart from the Bicycle Rider YouTube. Here's my little card right here. Owner. What does it say? Co-founder. You can tell that's my business partner. I'd say owner operator, but he's a little bit more sophisticated than I am. So he puts co-founder. I'll take it. I'll take it. No, my brain's a little bit simpler than that, but it's nice to have some more sophisticated touches in here. That's why a little bit of yin and yang. You know, I don't want to run this bike shop by myself. I want someone else's inputs in this thing. So amazing crew, built-in customers, built-in friends, built-in connections with not only the city, the state, and the country. I don't want to talk about some of the people that I know and contact me on a regular basis, but they're the movers and shakers of the city, the county, and the state. All looking to Biloxi Bicycle Works, all looking to Bart Luther for guidance on how to make bicycle tourism, and the industry of cycling not only viable, but a very important part of the landscape of the Mississippi Gulf Coast. So, hey, Bart from Bicycle Rider YouTube, over and out for now. I'm going to close this thing up and go to the taco festival. I want a taco. And then tomorrow, go ride this bike. Hey, if you guys want to ride bikes tomorrow, there's a mountain bike ride in the afternoon, and at 9:30 in the morning, we're going to be riding gravel bikes through the DeSoto National Forest, through some places that will absolutely blow your mind. If people knew how good our mixed surface riding was here, I could charge for this. But I'm doing it for free tomorrow because I want some exercise. So anyway, come do 50 miles in the morning with me. This stuff's real. We don't make it up. Bart from Bicycle Rider YouTube, over and out.